Welcome back to What's in Your Leadership Backpack. Today, we're going to talk about relationships and specifically a tool that we have in our backpack for intentional relationships.
Yeah, and we want to talk about what it's like and what we need at the beginning of a relationship. So we're hearing from clients, we're hearing from the teams that we work with, that many people are onboarding new staff members. We also know that this is a tool that can also be used for not just work relationships, but also for personal relationships, like a partner, a neighbor, a friend. So this particular tool called the Designed Alliance or a Design Team Alliance is really all about creating a framework, offering a framework for new relationships.
Yes, that framework has some pieces to it that we want to share with you, offer here. And the fundamentals of this tool, the Designed Alliance tool, is to, one, have a conversation. And that conversation starts with some questions that we're going to share with you.
So being really intentional with the other person. Some of the questions that you can answer together are, what's important about this relationship? What's our shared purpose? Right? So if you're trying to get something done together, or even if you just are caring about the same thing, or even if the purpose of your relationship is really just to care for one another, what's important about that? And what is the shared purpose behind the relationship?
Yeah, a few more questions to ask. What might take us off track, or what do we need to stay on track? Another way to say that is, what does success look like in this relationship? Maybe you're working on a project and you know what success looks like with the project being completed. This has got the orientation around the relationship. What does success look like in this relationship?
And then after asking and answering some of these questions together, the next piece is to agree and to have some agreements. So to agree on, how do you all want to be together when things are going well? How do you all want to be together when things are not going well, when there's a challenge?
Yeah, and that challenge piece, we see that in our clients coming up, is a best practice here actually is to look at the modality of how you're communicating. Is it time to pick up the phone and clear or get past the story just for the sake of getting back on track with a relationship?
Yeah, so an agreement could be when either one of us is feeling confused or frustrated, or we're uncertain about something, we're going to pick up the phone and talk to each other, as opposed to email or making up stories or avoiding or delaying, right? Jump on the phone and clear the air.
So the pieces of the Design Alliance, asking some questions, being curious, then coming to the agreements. We've offered some here about how to work together in the relationship. Some additional agreements you may want to look at are more around the logistics side.
Yeah, so there's an accountability piece that comes with any kind of relationship. So in addition to answering the question, how do we want to hold each other accountable for being good partners in this relationship? You also want to have a conversation and decide how you're going to routinely check in on the relationship, right? What does that look like? Having a specific check-in time, having a regular routine check-in time, whether that be weekly or whatever the relationship might be, but having an agreement around what that looks like and then sticking to it.
Yeah, and there's many ways to do this. I love where you're pointing us, Shannon, is checking in at the beginning of the conversation. It may just be for a few minutes. Just how are we doing? It may be weekly. It may be monthly. Whatever the rhythm you agree to, honor that. That's a piece that is important in this Designed Alliance.
And what we want to emphasize here is that this isn't a time for you to just be talking more about what you're working on together, what it is you're wanting together. It's really for you to be talking about and checking in on the relationship and the health of the relationship. And oftentimes that is the step that gets overlooked many times. So we want to really emphasize that. how are we doing in our relationship with each other?
Yes. So leadership backpack tool number one we're talking about relationships here, designing the alliance. How are we going to work together for the sake of this project? We've offered some questions, some agreements you may want to look into in this process. And now it's we're going to close here with an invitation.
So what we'd love is for you to try this out. Try it out in a context that makes sense for you. Maybe it's a new staff person who you're onboarding or a new relationship that you've started. We'd love for you to give this tool a try and then let us know how it goes.
Yes. Be well out in the world, and we'll be together again soon. Bye for now.